Welcome to TechFire. Today's date is the 15th of September, 2018. When we think about what cyber warfare might look like, we inevitably think about hackers sitting in dark rooms, surrounded by high-tech equipment, unleashing swarms of autonomous bots, whose purpose is to leverage or find vulnerabilities in our defense systems. The primary purpose, of course, would be to degrade or disable our capabilities during critical phases of a campaign. Fighter jets grounded, missile systems disabled, communication systems compromised, unresponsive satellite systems, widespread computer failures. The list of potential mischief that might be wrought by an enemy is almost endless. But the success of any effective strategy will often depend on the element of surprise. The increase in suspicious traffic that is targeted on finding weaknesses and exploiting vulnerabilities might only be a feint, a distraction. Such an attack might be anticipated, and while there is little doubt that if an enemy had the capability to disable a particular defense system, they would not hesitate to utilize it at just the right time, but we could never be certain that that was the primary vector for any particular attack. The Hollywood portrayal of the hacker is always somewhat dramatic. CGI will display graphics tracking the penetration of System X, while our hero launches a counter and struggles to shut down the threat. It goes without saying, of course, that our guy will win, but this picture is somewhat inaccurate. There is no way that our hero could respond in real time to any threat. He would have to rely on AI or autonomous systems to detect penetration. The enemy themselves would be using AI to fingerprint and establish the capabilities of our hero's defenses. The engagement may well revolve around the quality and capabilities of AI agents. Their ability to learn and adapt in real time may well determine the outcome well before the human operators became aware that an attack was in progress. In a recent report written by Cancian for the Center for Strategic and International Studies on how great powers adapt to tactical and strategic surprise, Cancian sketched out 12 vignettes of potential strategies. In the report, he made his abstract points a bit more concrete by giving us potential real-world scenarios. One detailed an attack aimed at the most vulnerable element of the US military, its personnel. Here is how Cancian imagines an asymmetric cyber attack launched by the People's Republic of China against the United States military, and I quote, "The cyber attacks varied. Sailors stationed at the 7th Fleet's home port in Japan awoke one day to find their financial accounts and those of their dependents empty. Checking, savings, retirement funds simply gone. The Marines based on Okinawa were under virtual siege by the populace, whose simmering resentment at their presence had boiled over after a YouTube video posted under the account of a Marine station there had gone viral. The video featured a dozen Marines drunkenly gang-raping 2 teenage Okinawan girls. The video was vivid, the girls' cries heart-wrenching, the cheers of the Marines sickening, and all of it fake. The National Security Agency's initial analysis of the video had uncovered digital fingerprints showing that it was a computer-based lie, and could prove that the Marines' account under which the video had been posted had been hacked, but the damage had been done. There was the commanding officer of Edwards Air Force Base, whose internet browser history had been posted on the squadron's Facebook page. His command turned on him as a pervert. His weak protestations that he had not visited most of the posted links could not counter his admission that he had in fact trafficked some of them. Lies mixed with truth. Soldiers at Fort Sill were at each other's throats, thanks to a series of text messages that allegedly unearthed an adultery ring on the base. The variations elsewhere were endless. Marines suddenly owed hundreds of thousands of dollars on credit lines they'd never opened. Sailors received death threats on their Twitter feeds. Spouses and female service members had private pictures of themselves plastered across the internet. Older service members received notifications about cancerous conditions discovered in their latest physical. There was not an American service member or dependent whose life had not been digitally turned upside down. In response, the Secretary had declared an operational pause, directing units to stand down until things were sorted out. Well, that was one of the scenarios suggested in the paper. The question is it plausible? It's certainly possible with existing technology to launch such a strategy. We end our adventure at this point. I hope you found something of interest in this video. If you would like to support my channel, I now have a Patreon page. If you're unable to support my work through Patreon, then you can share, like, or comment. It's all good. Thank you for watching.